Hello viewers, here you can watch a video and it may teach you how to make your own electricity using wind tunnel at rooftop or nearby field or any agricultural field. No problem if the wind speed is slow. You can speed up wind using conical wind tunnel and run your turbine efficiently. If you can feel the wind is blowing, it can be used to produce electricity using wind tunnel and any simple turbine. Here you are looking at a simple diagram which can show you that there is one wind tunnel. A slow speed wind comes inside, and at the narrow end the same slow speed wind becomes very fast enough to run a turbine like a rotating wheel, and that rotating wheel is connected to a gearbox which will rotate to get the revolutions per minute as required, and it can run the turbine. This slide will teach you about the different categories of the wind speed. According to the B4 wind scale, the wind speed has been graded into different categories ranging 0 to 12. The second category of low wind speed is known as the light breeze. It is 6 to 11 km per hour or 1.3 meter per second to 3 meter per second. The fifth category is named as the fresh breeze, 30 km to 39 km per hour or 8.3 meter per second to 10.8 meter per second. And the 12th category is named as the hurricane or typhoon, which is 118 to 134 km per hour. In the light breeze category, the wind blows at about 1.3 to 3 meter per second, and this speed of wind can be felt on the face, or it can move the leaves slowly with some sound. The light breeze category of wind speed is found at different places in about all the countries, but it is very common in the tropical areas near equator. It is also common near oceans, lakes, rivers, hilly areas, fields, agriculture fields, rural areas, and some urban areas. So, if you pass the light breeze, which is 1.3 to 3 meter per second, through a conical tunnel, it can be faster like fresh breeze, like 8 to 10 meter per second, and this accelerated wind speed is good enough to run a wind turbine at your home, rooftop, nearby field, or in agricultural fields. So if you are living in a place where you can feel the wind on your face, then it is possible to speed up that slow wind into a wind fast enough to run a wind turbine at your selected place. Wind turbines can be run on wind speed about 8 meter per second or above, and the same wind speed can be achieved using a simple conical wind tunnel as shown in the figure. So, how to speed up the slow wind at rooftop or nearby area or in any agriculture field where wind is blowing but it is slow. Take a 3 to 5 meter thick cloth or some plastic sheet or a metal sheet. Make a conical shape of this cloth with two open ends. One end should be wider end and the other end should be a narrow end. Fix it in a low windy area with the wider end against the wind direction to grab the wind inside the tunnel. You can get the accelerated wind at narrow end of the wind tunnel. Then you can install other accessories like rotating wheel, gearbox, and a turbine or generator to produce electricity. All the above mentioned accessories are usually available in the markets anywhere in the world. So you can design a very cheap 2 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt or plus wind power project at your own and at your home. So here you need only few simple items to make your own power project, like thick cloth for a conical tunnel, it is 2 to 5 meter long or more, rotating wheel, gearbox, a simple turbine, 2 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt or as per your design, and a stand to fix all these components for safety purposes and to avoid damages. The most important thing is the safety. Please take all required precautions. Here is a simple way to accelerate and calculate wind speed using conical wind tunnel. A conical wind tunnel should be 3 to 5 meter long with the wider end as inlet and the narrow end as exhaust as shown in the figure. If the wind speed is about 2 meter per second, the wider end should be 1 meter in diameter and the narrow end should be 0.25 meter. This design will accelerate the wind speed to 8 meter per second approximately. So you can run the wind turbine easily. If the wind speed is about 1 meter per second, the diameter of wider end of tunnel should be 2 meter and the narrow end diameter should be kept about 0.25 meter. This type of design will accelerate the wind about 8 times and the final speed will be about 8 meter per second, which is good enough to run a turbine for power production. As the accelerated wind comes out of the narrow end of the wind tunnel, there should be a rotating wheel as shown in the figure. It can be made using a wheel equipped with the cups or fan-like structures. Then it must be connected with the gearbox to increase the rotations per minute, like 1000 rpm to 1800 rpm, which is required to run a turbine for electricity production. Here is some simple formula to calculate the wind speed. If speed is 2 meter per second, wider end is 1 meter and narrow end is 0.25 meter, how fast wind will be at narrow end. So A1 into V1 is equal to A2 into V2, and you can get it V2 as a 8 meter per second. It is simple formula to get estimated wind speed at narrow end, but other formulas may be used to get accurate calculations. Then you need a gearbox to increase the RPM. If the gear with main rotating wheel is rotating at 150 RPM and it has 100 teeth and the adjacent small gear has 10 teeth, the resulting RPM on the turbine will be 1500 RPM, which is good enough to produce electricity. A simple turbine or a generator can be purchased from the market. Any turbine like 2 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt can be used to achieve the required load and the size of the wind tunnel, and gearbox can be selected accordingly. If the turbine produces direct current, it can be converted into alternating current using inverter. So here is something very special to share with the people. If there is no place at the rooftop to install all these components, the wind tunnel can be designed to bring the speeded up wind downside or side by the house to install turbine and gearboxes at ground level. Similarly, the wind tunnel can be fabricated with a vent to grab wind from outside or upside and install turbine at ground level or inside the house for safety purposes and to avoid usual or unusual theft. If the already installed small wind turbines are not working well due to slow wind speed, the use of wind tunnel in front of the turbine can be very helpful to make the turbine functional as shown in the figure. Or The same windmill can be installed horizontally and run successfully using wind tunnel. I think there is no need of vertical pillar. Here I am giving some recommendations for huge power projects in the world installed in the big wind corridors. So, big windmills need to be designed with an option to install huge big tunnels to meet the issues of slow wind or wind stealing effects. Huge windmills may be installed horizontally without vertical pillar, and a conical wind tunnel may be used to attain the required wind velocity. It may reduce the cost of installation and repairing to make it very cost effective. Wind tunnel may also be used to promote wave energy and ocean energy technologies. I will make a separate video with details about wave and ocean energy. So here is a summary of all the process. Make a wind tunnel of some thick cloth. It may be supported with some rings, solid rings. It needs to be fitted properly on a stand to grab the wind. Fix a rotating wheel in front of the narrow end of wind tunnel. Connect the rotating wheel with the gearbox to get required RPM. Connect the gearbox with any turbine of your choice to get the targeted load. Here is a simple flowsheet diagram. There is a slow wind. It passes through the wind tunnel. Then it can rotate the rotating wheel, which can rotate the gearbox to get the RPM. And then it can rotate the turbine and produce electricity. And it may be supplied to the homes and the industries.